been a very busy time actually. There are some things I've glad to have sort of ticked off and seen a lot of progress, and there are other things that I really want to crack on with. Well, looking at the tick list of things I want to achieve, I think there's about 3/4 of them either in progress or accomplished. Road safety strategy, for instance, we need to see more on a flood strategy. Environmental things have come very much to the fore this year though, and I'm really pleased to see the progress, the momentum behind it, the sort of widespread political support to take action for climate change. Brexit has taken over so much time, so much energy and attention that actually the domestic agenda I think has been a little bit forgotten, and there's a lot of social issues that I've been very keen to progress, that I think we do need to put a bit more focus on. Well, I think mental health across the piece from all ages, but particularly for young people. I think access to mental health, the waiting lists for mental health, the lack of early intervention, particularly, is there enough support across schools? And there's a whole new dimension now with social media, but I don't feel it's the schools' responsibility always to tackle that. That is a community-wide problem, and I do think that in people generally, we need to build up resilience, and we need to manage the modern factors that impact on life and well-being. Well, I suppose the reason I resigned was because the remit of Children's Champion was tightened to focus very definitely on looked after children and vulnerable young people, and that's fine, and that's a very vulnerable group that they need a lot of attention, and I wish the best to Tim Baker coming forward. I think he must be gearing up for his first year's report as well. It's a very difficult area, but in terms of across the piece, so much of my mailbox has come from lots and lots of young people with a whole range of different issues, and education and the access to it, the amount of IT. There's so much about education generally that lands in my mailbox. That's something I've got a motion down for July Tynwald about it as well. I think it does need our focus. One of the things I haven't been able to put much attention on while doing just the day-to-day parliamentary business, questions, researching for Keys and Tynwald order paper, as well as my departmental role. One of the things I won the leave of the House in October to bring forward no-fault divorce legislation, and I need to go out to public consultation and ensure that this is something that is wanted on the island, and also if the how the system would work is acceptable to the population. Now the England and Wales are also looking at this, but I don't think, it would be practical to sit back because our family law is very similar to English family law. It would be great if they had this drafted already and we could look at adapting it for the island, but it hasn't come out yet. So I think I really want to spend this summer researching and getting a consultation out to the public to say, is a no-fault divorce legislation something you'd like to see? This year I've been probably distracted, but in a good way, by being lucky enough to undertake 8 months of study at McGill University, Montreal, Canada, School of Continuing Studies, in parliamentary governance. So I've been looking at Parliament, and I'm particularly interested in ensuring the balance between the strength of Parliament and its scrutiny function, along with the Council of Ministers, the government of the day, and the administration. That all three, we are the sum of our parts. We are a better, stronger entity when all three are functioning really well. That there's a democratic deficit perception that the Isle of Man people do not get a say in who their chief minister is. Now you can look across the water at Westminster and say, well, several times now in recent years, the electorate has not determined who the next Prime Minister is, but the elections come and the leader has to stand. Whereas in the Isle of Man, everyone is elected, the 24 members then nominate and elect from now just the House of Keys, not the whole of Tynwald, the Chief Minister, who could well serve for 5 years, and then nobody gets a vote on that until the end of that 5 years. So one of the things I'm looking at is a way we could ensure that once we have our 24 members, that the electorate has the opportunity to vote on Chief Minister who would be nominated by the Keys to go forward and stand as Chief Minister. And that's a system, you know, there's I'm told that it would cost potentially £150,000 to have a vote for the Chief Minister in addition to the general election. But what price democracy?